Oh look, that kid's ridiculous face, just like high school dropout. I guess dropout parents have dumb kid too.
The classmate, Alice, from high school who always looked down on me, leaned in to get a closer look at Mike's face. She graduated from Harvard, and beautiful, but with a terrible personality. That's what Alice said while looking at Mike's face. I could tolerate being ridiculed myself, but when she insulted my son Mike, I couldn't hold back anymore. Despite trying to keep my cool, I snapped. High school education doesn't matter. Just because you went to Harvard doesn't give you the right to say such things to my son. Watching this, Mike said in a cold voice, "Dad, is she Alice, right? Should we fire her?" Mike might look like a regular 10-year-old, but he's far from ordinary. Alice would soon realize this too. My name is John Smith. Probably just a very average 8th grader. I'm on the soccer team, sometimes on reserve, sometimes not. Unlike the Golden Boys, I don't have a girlfriend. I am just a really ordinary mid-schooler. I had one thing I was good at, and one thing I wasn't. First, my strength was math. I'm not generally good at studies, but for some reason, math just makes sense to me. I can solve even the most complex problems easily. I was the only one in my grade to solve a particularly tough problem, keeping my math grades at the top since I started school. What I especially loved was binary numbers. There's something so much fun about counting in a system not based on 10, almost like a game. On the other hand, my weakness, or rather the person I struggled with, was a classmate since elementary, the beautiful Alice Johnson. For some reason, she was regular with others but unfriendly to me. We used to play together and visit each other's houses in lower grades of elementary, but she suddenly turned cold around the time of a school trip, saying mean things only to me.
Hey John, stop slacking off and take out the trash.
She said that even though I wasn't the only one slacking.
John, stop daydreaming and turn off the burner. You're so useless.
Or, during science class, she'd always complain to me even though everyone could shut off the alcohol burner. And then, I can't touch that alcohol burner after John touched it. As if I was something dirty. I wanted to talk back, but Alice was strong-willed and pretty and at the top of the class, like the queen bee. I always ended up taking her words without a reply. I thought I'd one day show her up, but math was the only thing I could beat her in. And Alice was pretty good at math too, top in our class for overall grades. All through middle school, she targeted me. And then, we both ended up in the same college prep high school. So, I started high school juggling the same strength and weakness. Then, in sophomore year, my life took a 180-degree turn. My dad, who was the family's mainstay, passed away. He loved fly fishing, but one morning, he took a wrong turn on a mountain road while fishing and fell off a cliff with his car. Then he was deceased. That happened changed everything for our otherwise plain but peaceful family life. I'll never forget my mom's face when the local police called, nor my dad's pale face at the hospital. With my dad gone, my mom, a former housewife, had to start working as a contract. But the shock of losing my dad meant she often fell ill and couldn't hold down a job for long. She'd work a bit, then be bedridden. She started working again, but got sick within 3 months. I couldn't put her through that anymore. I decided to give up on college. Also, I dropped out of high school and started working immediately to support her. So, I want to let her be a housewife again. I made up my mind the 3rd time she fell ill. Alice, who still constantly berated me, confronted me again when I decided to quit high school.
What are you thinking? Are you out of your mind? A high school dropout won't get you anywhere. At least finish high school or society won't take you seriously. You have just 1 year left. Go back to high school. Being a dropout is just crazy.
Alice vehemently opposed my decision, but that wasn't going to change my mind. Then, I left high school by the weekend. After quitting high school, I first started working part-time at a nearby convenience store. Since I was focusing on studying subjects, this was my first experience in the workforce. It was exhausting but exhilarating, and now that I had decided to support our family, there was no turning back. As I get used to the convenience store job, I also started working nights at an Italian restaurant. My mom, seeing me occasionally come home with burns, would cry and worry about my irregular lifestyle. But not everything about my part-time life was tough. During this time, I also had the opportunity to talk with a woman. She was Erica and worked as a hall staff member at the Italian restaurant. She was attending a well-known local state university to study robotics engineering. Erica and I started chatting in the quieter moments at the restaurant. I found her college lecture stories about robotics fascinating, as they had similarities with mathematics. Gradually, I became interested in robotics engineering and would sometimes join Erica at the university, attending lectures sneakily on my days off from the convenience store. The lectures were challenging with unfamiliar theorems, but I would borrow Erica's student ID and study them in the university's library afterward. Sometimes I wondered if I would have been attending this university too, if not for my dad's accident. But my days were fulfilling, juggling 2 jobs and feeling the satisfaction of supporting my mom. And most of all, being in love was fun. Erica, 3 years older, was mature and always sparked my curiosity. Yet, when we strolled along the river, her expressions were as adorable as a girl's, making me want to protect her smile forever. Erica naturally continued to graduate school. She was a top student and had many offers from research labs. But she chose to work under a famously difficult professor. As her project often went late into the night, she quit the restaurant job, so we no longer saw each other at work. However, I would go to her apartment every night after my shifts, cherishing the little time we had together. Her apartment was typical for a science student, with minimal furniture and daily necessities, and piles of specialized books everywhere. By then, the books she read were too complex for me, but sometimes Erica would explain her research in simple terms.
It's also an option to work for a few years and then go to college,
Erica told me, opening up a path I thought I had closed. Apparently, college isn't just for 18 or 19-year-old high school graduates. Many adults who worked for a while and then decided to study more also enroll. But Erica, I didn't even finish high school. When I told her this, she explained about a system called the GED. It seemed that even someone like me, who didn't graduate high school, could take this test, and if passed, be considered to have high school level education, allowing me to apply for college. I had no money for college tuition yet, and supporting my mom and myself was all I could handle. But I found a new dream. It was saving up money and going to college someday. Our dates were usually in Erica's apartment or on the university campus, but they were always fun. The university cafeteria was cheap and good, with plenty of large portion options for hungry college students. Erica loved the cafeteria's special ice cream. Every time I bought her one and brought it to the table, she lit up with joy. As much as I wished I could earn more to treat her to fancy cafe dessert, the way she cherished those cafeteria parfaits made them seem precious and dear to me. Erica often said, to earn more, it's not just about working more hours. There's a limit to how many hours a person can work. Instead, improve your skills to earn more per hour, and you'll see a salary increase even with the same number of work hours. Studying is the way to go, she repeated to me. Tempted to work more shifts whenever I wanted to buy something for Erica, I heeded her advice and focused on improving my skills. I learned to use computer software I couldn't before, and even got a cooking license. Paying for these studies felt like a loss then, but going to cooking school led to praise from the restaurant manager and a raise. Eventually, I was able to give Erica a necklace she wanted for Christmas gift. Thanks to improved computer skills, I got a job as a computer school instructor through a contract. Quitting my convenience store job and teaching locals at the computer school significantly increased my monthly earnings. As my mom's health stabilized and she started working part-time, our financial burden lightened, and we began saving money. With savings accumulating, I started thinking about marrying Erica, and we happily tied the knot in the summer when Erica graduated from her graduate program. Our new life together, with Erica working as a researcher and me continuing my jobs at the computer school and the Italian restaurant, was very happy. We rented a small apartment, cooked dinner for each other, and enjoyed our meals together every night. Just sleeping beside Erica made me feel blissful. While I continued juggling my teaching and restaurant jobs, the manager approached me one day, offering to put me in charge of the kitchen at a new location. I was the only part-timer having experience of cooking school, so it seems that's why my wage got a little bump.
John, let's save the extra from your raised salary for when you go to college,
Erica suggested, even though I wanted to treat her to all her favorite foods.
I'm completely happy with our life as it is. And you definitely should go to college. You love math so much.
She insisted on this, not letting me spend the extra money on our dates. I even offered to increase the money I sent to my mom, but she refused, having heard about college from Erica. And that's how my college savings began. One day, Erica shyly revealed something to me. "I'm pregnant," she said. We were at the peak of our happiness. Our son, Mike, turned out to be a prodigy, much to our surprise. Both Erica and I were good at math, so we expected him to like math to some extent, but he exceeded all expectations. He quickly learned to count from 1 to 100, and by the time he was in preschool, he was solving quadratic equations. He also loved binary numbers, my favorite, and could instantly convert decimal numbers to binary. While Erica continued working part-time, she would pick up Mike from daycare after her lab work and talk to him about math in a way a child could understand. Mike would listen, eyes shining with excitement. By this time, I had quit the Italian restaurant and became a full-time employee at the computer school. Mike quickly learned the computer skills I taught and breezed through programming materials for elementary students.
Hey, what do you think he'll grow up to be?
Erica asked one night, stroking the sleeping Mike's hair, then suddenly started crying. "Erica, what's wrong?" It was a happy topic, but she seemed distressed. As I looked at her in confusion, she clung to me, crying, and then revealed, I have a brain tumor." I was stunned.
Only about half a year left.
I couldn't process Erica's confession and remained silent for a long time. I needed to support her. I knew that, but my mind kept flashing back to my dad's pale face. Now Erica too. The memory of the day my mom answered the phone came flooding back. I was scared, so scared. "Tell me it's a lie, that you're just dreaming." I couldn't accept Erica's illness, and for a while, Our life continued as before. Erica was undergoing treatment, but since then, she never spoke of her illness again. I thought maybe we could pretend it wasn't happening. But one day, I got a call from her lab. Erica had collapsed. Lying in the hospital bed, conscious but connected to numerous tubes and breathing through an oxygen mask. The reality was undeniable.
Please take care of Mike.
After hearing that, I finally faced reality. By then, her condition had progressed beyond the point of treatment. In the month before Erica passed away, we repeatedly talked about Mike's future. Erica kept apologizing to me and Mike. It wasn't something to apologize for. The hardest part was for Erica, having to leave Mike and go alone. Mike had extraordinary talent. Erica kept saying, I agreed with her. I vowed to do my best to nurture Mike's exceptional abilities. Erica often took Mike to her lab, and everyone there adored him. Erica asked me to continue taking Mike to her lab even after she was gone. With the help of everyone in the lab, I promised to give him the best education possible. On the dawn of the day when 6-year-old Mike, holding back tears, said, "Mom, it's okay. Dad and I will be all right," Erica passed away at the young age of 33. Having lost a cherished family member twice, I couldn't afford to break down. I had to protect my son, Mike. From that day on, our desperate life began, focusing on nurturing Mike's talent. As Mike's 10th birthday approached, we celebrated at a famous local restaurant known for its French cuisine. After enjoying the meal and stepping out of the restaurant, I encountered a familiar figure. Alice? Alice, my old classmate from elementary to high school, was there dining with her boyfriend. Seeing us, she immediately smirked.
You, dining at such a fancy restaurant, despite being a high school dropout, that's way out of your league.
High school dropout has nothing to do with it. Trying not to provoke Alice, especially in front of Mike, I attempted to leave quickly, but she kept throwing words at us.
A dropout can't possibly provide a proper education for their child, right?
I was furious, as I had been focusing on Mike's education as per my promise to Erica, but I tried to ignore her and leave with Mike.
Oh look, that kid's ridiculous face, just like high school dropout. I guess dropout parents have dumb kid too.
Alice continued to taunt. I could tolerate being ridiculed myself, but not when it came to Mike. I couldn't help but raise my voice. Being a high school dropout is irrelevant. Just because you went to Harvard doesn't mean you can say such things to my son.
You're the one you should have finished high school, John.
Alice retorted. Watching this, Mike said in a cold voice, "Dad, is she Alice, right? Should we fire her?" "What are you talking about, Mike?" Trying to correct him, he said, "She works for one of my company's contractors. She might not know me, but I've seen her. They handle our security measures. So, at least for the current project, I can fire her. Right, Alice?" Mike? No matter how much we were insulted, there was no need to retaliate. But then again, I had also talked back a bit. I silenced Mike's radical remarks.
What? This kid owns a company. He can't fire me. That's just a childish fantasy.
Alice, clearly shaken by Mike calling her by name, scoffed and disappeared back into the restaurant with her boyfriend. "Mike, you shouldn't say. Should we fire her?" I admonished him, but he still looked discontent. Mike has a bit of an offensive personality. Well, being recognized as a member in Erica's lab and working on robotics engineering and system development while still in elementary school, it's understandable he might be a bit brash. But kindness and relationships are fundamental for human society. Just because he's a child and works with adults in system development doesn't mean he can say anything he wants. Mike developed a digital photo app that became a hit. The profits led to the formation of a company for developing more apps, nominally with me as the CEO, but in reality, Mike was running most of it. The security part of that album was outsourced, and Alice worked for that company. When I scolded him for being harsh to our contractor, Mike puffed up his cheeks for a while but quieted down when I mentioned his mom might cry, murmuring an apology. A few days after the restaurant incident, the data breach occurred at Alice's company. Fortunately, the leaked part was not directly related to Mike's app, but we got involved in the incident.
You did this, didn't you? You're taking revenge for the other day.
Alice accused Mike. Mike, of course, was outraged. Determined, he vowed to find the real culprit. Luckily, the breach's exit wasn't too complex. Decoding some ciphers and tracing a few IP addresses seemed feasible. With the help of everyone in the lab, we decoded the ciphers and traced the addresses, leading us to the computer of Alice's boyfriend at the restaurant, Williams. When Alice confronted him, he readily admitted that he had someone else do it.
I was jealous of Alice, who seemed to be able to do everything. It frustrated me.
Those words triggered a memory in Alice. She remembered being spiteful in the past due to not being able to match her first love in mathematics and regretting it. She had planned to confess her true feelings and apologize for everything when they graduated high school, but never got the chance because he dropped out, and that too remained unfulfilled. Despite all being her fault, she had harbored a grudge for so long and said terrible things when they met again. Alice came to my house to apologize and told me this. I was shocked to see the proud Alice bowing her head so low in apology. Her confession that she had once had feelings for me was astonishing, and it made me realize once again how uncontrollable emotions can become when entangled. Mike didn't say anything, but he seemed to sense something as Alice sincerely apologized to us and vowed to help Williams reform. Terica, Mike has turned 10 now. Today, we are visiting your grave, as we do every year. Mike's photo app is still selling well. The new features are loved by customers, and the add-ons are selling too. I report to Erica's grave.
But I did something bad.
Mike spoke up.
I was mean to someone who helps me with work, because they were mean to me first. I was the stronger one, but I bullied the weaker.
He understood his mistake. As a parent, I was relieved that Mike was reflecting on his actions.
I'm going to be kinder to others from now on. Even if they are mean, I won't retaliate. So Mom, don't worry.
Erica, Mike has grown so much, both his heart and body. He's growing up well. Then I had one more thing to tell her. Erica, I've decided to go to college next year. I want to study engineering and join Mike and the others in system development work in earnest.
If Dad joins the development, it will be really encouraging.
Mike said excitedly. So far, I've only been able to manage the company, but I've always wanted to be involved in the development. Like not just bug checking, but really getting into the essence of it. For that, I think going to college is the best way.
When I grow up, I'm going to college too. I want to go to the same university as Mom.
Mike, you are already visiting a university lab. But it's good to go to college. Not just college. You should go to graduate school too.
Yeah, then I can become a researcher like Mom. I'll leave the company to Dad.
Mike grinned mischievously. Erica, he's grown up to be so dependable. It looks like it will be a long time before I see you. but I'll have a lot of stories to tell when I do. So, wait for me there. I speak to Erica in my heart.
John, Mike, Mom is always watching over you.
It felt as if Erica's voice rode on the wind. All right, Mike. Let's eat at the university cafeteria today before heading home.
Yay.
Mike was thrilled. We started walking home, hand in hand, as the sense of spring began to mingle in the air.